We are back at the Chapleau Town Hall. Tonight is a town meeting where apparently on the agenda they will be talking about recording employees inside the town hall. So we're gonna find out what that's all about. Looks like the door's unlocked now. Are we okay to come in?
Yeah. You can come in. There is no video recording in council chambers though.
It doesn't say anything about that in the township bylaws.
Okay. Oops, sorry.
I can pick that up.
Oh, I got it. Thanks. You'd like to sign in? Oh, just open the window. Okay. Would you like me to be your slide person?
Yeah.
Okay, I can do that.
Hello.
When this one's completed,
So great.
will be mandatory names here, so let's go back.
To use, right? You want the PowerPoint view? No, because it's the very first item, second one. Not the first item, less is closing. One more.
Okay.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Right on time.
I know. My best to be on time.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Regular meeting of council, Monday, September 22nd, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. in the Civic Council Chambers. Kindly turn off all cell phones for the duration of the meeting or place them on mute, please. Call meeting in order that the Township Chapleau does hereby call regular council meeting on Monday, September 22nd, 2025 to order at 6:30 p.m. Indigenous land acknowledgement, municipality of Chapleau situated in the Sister Treaty lands of Nishnawbe Cree people, Treaty 9 area, and recognizes neighboring First Nation of Brunswick House, Chapleau Cree, Chapleau Ojibwe, Mishpicotton, and Missinabie Cree. We acknowledge the long history of the First Nation and Métis people in Ontario and show respect to them today. Approval of the agenda. Whereas member of council has been presented with an agenda for the regular council meeting Monday, September 22nd, 2025, and being resolved that the agenda be adopted as presented. Can I please have a mover? Moved by Lisi, seconded by Alex. Any discussion, additions, or deletions?
If we could amend it to add one item to in camera, it's a legal matter,
Okay. So,
so it's as amended,
okay.
and the reason for going in cameras, it's a legal.
Okay. Any further? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried. Okay, disclosure of pecuniary interest. Mayor Bignuckle requests for any pecuniary interest to be declared for the record. Do we have any?
No.
Okay, hearing none. Number 4. Financial variances to the budget update. I'd like at this time to introduce our treasurer, Les Jones. Could you please present us?
Yeah. Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to come before you once again and offer to you, of course, in the agenda package in the lead up to the meeting, the slide deck that is here now. And Judy, if you like, you could flip to the first slide. What I was thinking about tonight, at least to begin with here, the format of the slides is similar to what you've seen before. So the first couple of slides capture total revenues and total expenditures across the major divisions of our operations. And then the following slides are broken down at the department level, so you'll see council, administration, protections of persons and property, and so on. My initial thought was, instead of me, droning on and going through each slide and grabbing each and every item, what I would do is give you some overviews or highlights of it at the outset, given that you've had a chance to look at it. And then if there are areas that you would like us to flip the slides to, or specific questions that have arisen in your review in advance of the meeting, either myself or Rajan or Judy be able to offer some clarification for you. So what I thought I would do is just simply point out that by virtue of the word variance, what we're saying is there's going to be displayed here differences between what we budgeted and what we've experienced year to date across both the revenue and the expenditure categories. And at a high level, the variances are driven by a number of primary factors. So the first thing would be we actually experience an actual increase or decrease in either a revenue or an expenditure. Those things can occur for a variety of reasons, and there may be some of those that are found in here, but on a modest scale. There's nothing that's in here that would look to say there's a extreme driver pushing a budgetary variance, either with a revenue going way up or a revenue coming way down, and the same can be said for expenditures. But having said that, there are a number of things that are simply as a result of timing or seasonality. So the first piece would be, we're just approaching the end of the third quarter of the fiscal. So what happens here is that there are going to be costs that are spread out through this budget that are fixed in nature. So contractual costs like Ontario Clean Water Agency, policing, DSAB, public health, MPAC. So those items will all be underspent relative to budget. We're also going to see areas such as energy costs be under when you look at this comparative budget, simply because we're 8/12 of the way through the year in terms of looking at the reporting. What we look for in these areas, though, is to try and look at them year over year to determine, are we in line with where we saw ourselves last year. So the example that I just cited, energy, we're in very, very, very close to the same level as last year. We didn't exceed budget last year. We don't expect to exceed budget this year. So that forms part of what we do when we look at this, trying to determine, are we going to be heading along a trend line that will maybe push something into an area where it needs some attention now. Third item would be seasonal impacts. So of course, some of our spending is driven as a result of the season that we fall into. So for example, we would see winter control expenditures beginning to spike. So the purchase of winter sand, winter salt, some additional contractor rentals to be hired for snow removal. Some of those kinds of things will affect the expenditures in this type of presentation format as well. We might see some things driven by timing in terms of timing delays. So for example, we might have found opportunities in previous years to get some of those types of expenditures done earlier, but because we rely on external suppliers for some of this, that's not always possible to see it happen at the same time every year. Another piece of it would be, of course, there are some things that are fixed in timing because the cycle is quarterly as well. So we have quarterly billings for utility billings. Those are yet to come. We get quarterly grant advances. Some of those are yet to come. We get quarterly invoicing from some of our suppliers, like the Ontario Clean Water Agency. Some of that is still to come. So those are some of the types of elements that will affect the results. The other thing would be, of course, and if there was something that was arriving in a significant way and would have, of course, required council consultation, you would have been made aware of it already. But I can think of things like, let's say, we had a change in staffing levels because of some reorganization changes. Those kinds of decisions in year could affect some of the results that you would see here. But they, again, would be the types of things that would be unplanned and would be brought to your attention at the point in time where it occurred. So those would be, in general terms, some of the primary drivers that would lead to the variations that you see in here in terms of operating to budget. The thing that we would like to say in terms of the reviews that carried out with Judy and myself and Ray-Jan in terms of looking where we're at, we don't see any alarming trends in terms of what's developing here. We think that our progress is going to allow us to remain on track for the budget. We may continue to see some improved results in certain areas. It's always welcomed in terms of improvements either for forecast revenue streams that are driven by user fees, so they can fluctuate, of course, with demand. So you could have better results at the arena with more rentals. You could see more activity at the airport than expected. You could see more ridership in the transit bus than expected, more building permit activities. All of those kinds of things could continue to materialize and then continue to lead to improvements. And I would say that in terms of looking at major expenditure categories that I would classify as operating, so salaries and benefits, look to be on track. There's no alarming trends in terms of overtime. I mentioned energy previously. Materials and supplies are looking in line. We do see, as we do in every year, some small fluctuations with inside areas where maybe something is, attracting a little more spending than it had been previously. Ray-Jan and I have looked at those areas, in particular as it relates to some of the larger material and supply lines. And we're confident that within the other areas of spending in those categories, we can make the necessary reallocations so there won't be any jolts or bumps, if you will, in terms of the results in that fashion. So I thought, unless Judy or Ray-Jan, if I missed anything in terms
No,
of
you covered everything. There's
Yeah.
a specific question.
Yeah.
I just called up the expenses sheet, and you'll see a long orange line there for environmental services. We did intend to have the Dufferin project moving forward this year. Due to risk related to the seasonal climate change that we've got coming with the snow soon to fly, and we had water that had to sit in tanks outside. We've decided to, with the interaction with the engineers and the contractor and the subcontractors, we made a decision to push off the actual construction work till next year. We'll be able to start the construction work earlier in the year. We had delays with getting our permit to take water. Actually, kind of interesting, our permit to take water, they changed the way it works, and it's less work now. You don't have to fill out the permit to take water, but the other avenue that we had to do on getting a settlement report actually took longer than what a permit to take water would have taken. So there was no time benefit there. And being the fact that we're now into September, it's just too late to start the field work at this time. So we will see that coming back up again next year as we start the work, and hopefully late spring.
If I may, just on that one as well, one of the other factors that affect these lines in areas where there's reserve fund contributions, we book our reserve fund contributions at the end of the year after the results and activities are completed, because there may be opportunities, for example, with reallocations in budgets, not to draw down reserve funds, so we can leave them intact. So if I was to look at as well a contributing factor to the difference between the year to date and the budgeted number for environmental services, a large part of that as well is the fact that the reserve fund contributions haven't been booked yet either, because as we finish getting through the capital major maintenance and consulting, we'll reconcile that and then book the numbers net if there's going to be an increase or an excessive drawdown because of something that was not an increase in the drawdown because of unanticipated changes to the program.
Okay. And then the next slides are the individual departments and their current status. I think council has had the opportunity to see that in your sheets.
Any other points, Les?
Well, I just think like, to leave with you in terms of looking at this piece around some assurances is that, we look at this monthly, once we get through the cycle and push the pieces through. Ray-Jean or Judy may come to me looking for additional background information when an expenditure is contemplated. So what we do look to do is to not, wait for a quarter to pass, if you will, to look at it. We're monitoring it regularly. And then, as I say, we would look to respond in the moment if it's something that is, relatively minor in nature, we're tracking it. If it's something that requires your approval, of course, it would be brought to your attention, so.
Okay. Next council meeting, can you just bring that little Excel sheet, just our cash position?
Yeah, well, actually, I gave it to Judy.
Actually, it's been circulated.
Okay, I haven't had a chance to look at it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Okay, is there any other questions for Les?
Right, just wanted to follow up on Dufferin, moving into next year, are there any grants that need to be reapplied for, is all the funding carried over?
So, if I may, Judy, so right now, the grant's intact, right? Because the substantial completion date for the small grant that we received for it, sunsets at the end of 2026. And we're also carrying, the accumulated unused, formula-based grant for that project. So again, it's something we can carry over. The thing that I'm monitoring with that right now, of course, is typically those programs will look at project progress across Ontario. And they know that, there are often many reasons for projects, and I'm not suggesting this for ours, but there are often many reasons why projects may in fact become delayed. So the majority of times they do open windows that would allow you to apply for an extension. So I'm just monitoring that now. I'm not looking to apply for an extension, but keeping in contact with Ray-Jean and Judy. I'll be made aware of the actual project progress to ensure that, okay, it will be completed. If it looks like we are anticipating something that may lead to an overlap into 2027, I'd look to take advantage then of the window and request a grant extension, of course, presenting a case, if you will, for why the extension would be required.
Thanks, Les, and I wrote down no alarming trends, so always good to hear that, thank you.
Okay, any other questions?
We have the capital as well, which council really seemed to identify with our chart, so we've used it again. And I just offer if there's any questions, we'd be happy to answer them regarding the capital.
Anyone?
Okay.
All right, good presentation. Thanks, Les.
Thank you.
Lots of good information. I'm glad that we're turning in the right direction. Appreciate the time we went into it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Committee of Adjustment, reviewed consent of agenda consisting of 6.1 council and committee meeting minutes and 6.11 regular council meeting minutes on Monday, September 8, 2025. Now therefore be it resolved that the council of Township of Chapleau does hereby approve the regular council meeting minutes for Monday, September 8, 2025. Could I please get a mover? Moved by Paul, seconded by Kathy. All right, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried. Okay, 7 business, 7.1. Amendment to budget. Fire department requests for pagers and jaws for life equipment. That the Township of Chapleau does hereby receive the CAO's report entitled Fire Department Request for Pagers and Jaws of Life dated September 22nd, 2025 for information, and that the council does hereby approve the purchase of, at a cost of $700.60 from Spectrum 2000 Communications Group, and furthermore, the council does or does not approve the purchase of the Jaws of Life in the amount of blank from blank. And furthermore, that the pagers and Jaws of Life were not included in the annual budget for 2025, and council declares these purchases to be an amendment to the budget. Can I get a mover and a second and open this for discussion? Moved by Kathy, seconded by Lisi. open for discussion. So, we either, I guess you guys wanna work our way down?
Yep.
Okay, so pagers, how many did, what was the ask, I think it was 5?
5.
The ask was 5.
I was gonna ask.
5 grand, just to
Yes.
confirm? Okay,
So just a question on that, so what is the state of our other pagers, or do we need a buffer? Do we need additional pagers as,
come on up, Graham.
We're good, we'll be good for a while,
okay,
sorry.
5 in,
For those of you that don't know in the audience, this is our fire chief, Graham Bertrand.
So through you, Mr. Mayor, we currently have 24 pagers, and we have an opportunity to have 29 staff.
And we are short just a couple, but we are also short a few firemen that we'll be, hoping to hire soon.
So is 5 gonna cover us, or do you need 6?
No, we're good,
5.
5 is good.
Okay, so there we go. So we got a 5 in there, anybody opposed to that?
No.
Okay, furthermore, council, so now we're down to the Jaws of Life. So what was the number for the Jaws of Life?
that was 42.
44,000 prior to taxes.
Okay. And who is the distributor that we would like to purchase it from?
Do you remember off
Code
the
four.
top of your head?
Say
Okay, let me
that's-
look it up.
Go for it.
Code,
Code for it.
Code
I
4.
thought you said go for it. Okay, code.
go for it,
Okay,
code.
Code 4,
okay, it was 44.
and it was $44,000 even.
Okay, discussion on the Jaws of Life. Questions, comments?
No, thank you for
Are you
the
in favor?
information, I'm in favor of a range of, I would say 45 to 50, knowing that there'll be funds coming in to support that.
Yeah,
Alex?
yeah, I'm good up to 50,000.
Okay,
I'm good.
Yeah, the report was helpful, so yes. I
Okay.
support that.
and thank you for bringing this matter to our attention.
Thank you.
And,
We will do.
just give us one more second. And furthermore, pagers, council declares that the purchase has been amended to the budget.
Yes.
So, all in favor? Carried. There, you got yourself some pagers and a Jaws of Life. Congratulations.
Wonderful.
Thank you for putting in the work, Graham.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
All right, 7.2. Winter already. 2026 Taste of the North Winter Carnival at the Township Chapleau. Desiree received the Leisure and Cultural Services Manager report entitled the 2026 Taste of the North Carnival for information, and that the council does hereby approve the event budget of $29,645. Could I please get a mover?
I'll move.
Moved by Paul, seconded by
I'll second.
Alex. All right, any discussion? I think you got this one under control now, we don't even talk about it anymore. You did a good job last year, we're gonna redo it again. All right, all in favor? Gary, congratulations. 7.3, dehumidifier pricing for the arena. That the council, township, and Chapleau does hereby receive the operation director's report entitled recommendation to purchase a new dehumidifier for the A.W. Moore Arena for information, and that the council does recognize the procurement obligations detailed in the bylaw 2024-12. For this purchase were adhered to through the use of Canoe Procurement Group. And furthermore, that the township does approve the purchase of an MS 2600 electric dehumidifier from Simcoe in the amount of $48,385.89. Could I please get a mover? Moved by Lisi, seconded by Kathy. Read their package. All right, all in favor? Carried. Congratulations, dehumidifier. It's 2 in a row. All right. 7.4. Videotaping staff and patrons in municipal buildings. That the township Chapleau does hereby receive the CAO's report entitled Taping staff and patrons in municipal buildings dated September 22nd, 2025 for information, and whereas council is concerned about the welfare and safety of staff and patrons visiting municipal spaces. And that the council does hereby approve the CAO to work on a bylaw to restrict the use of video recording in municipal buildings without prior consent. And furthermore, that a penalty be in place in the bylaw if videotaping is conducted without permission, and a fine can be imposed on the individual through the bylaw enforcement officer. All right, can I get a mover?
I'll move.
Moved by Lisi, seconded by
I'll second.
Alex. Any discussion? Questions? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried. Alright, 7.5, expanding the administration department. That the township does hereby receive the CAO's report entitled Expanding the Administration Department dated September 22nd, 25 for information, and that the council does hereby approve the purchase of additional furniture in the amount of no more than $4,000 to equip the administration department for increase in staffing with new intern. And furthermore, that the staff will investigate to find the best pricing on the furniture detailed in this report. Can I please get a mover?
I'll move.
Moved by Paul, seconded by Alex. Any discussion or questions?
Just a question, do we have a time frame when we would like the intern to start? I'm just trying to understand the dollars, like mid-year.
Yes, so through you, Mr. Mayor, we are hoping to do the posting later this week after council has a discussion about the qualities of the person that they're looking for. And so as soon as we can potentially get somebody in the chair is what our goal is.
Thank you.
Any further questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried. Alright, 7.3, Chapleau Health Services request for handy bus. That the township of Chapleau does hereby want to support the seniors in our community, and that the council does hereby approve the use of the handy transit bus for the fall fair on Friday, October 17th from 4 to 7 p.m. and Saturday, October 18th, 2025 from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Can I please get a mover?
I'll move.
Okay, I'll second.
I'm gonna go with that. Hand was up quick.
I'll second.
Okay, Paul seconds. Any discussion, comments? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried. Alright, 7.7, request for rebate on renew use for gala by Annie Krieger-Givell. That the council township in Chapleau does hereby approve the cost of reduction of the hall rental fees for the Gilbert Family Gala, and that the council wishes to recognize and appreciate the donation of the Jaws of Life for the Chapleau Fire Department. Could I get a mover, please?
I'll move that we deduct it by 100%, given that all proceeds go to the fire.
Okay, sorry, we need to get a motion on the floor first.
Oh.
Moved by Paul, seconded by Kathy. Open for discussion, go ahead,
I
Paul.
recommend 100%, given it's a event that'll benefit our fire department.
Okay, any further? Okay, I'm in favor, just as long as we credit back from the fire department budget onto Carol's, just so it doesn't go on. Yeah, and that way it keeps all the things even. Cause there is a lot of staffing charges and stuff like that, so if we do the credit, because we're getting those funds, then we should credit back for that, less than 15% like we normally do.
Yep.
Just to keep it fair in the books. Everybody in favor?
Yeah.
Any further discussion? Hearing none? Okay. All in favor? Okay. Good. Almost have it. You gotta make a mistake on one. 7.8, additional asphalt cost Pioneer construction invoice that the township Chapleau does hereby receive CAO's operation director's report entitled additional asphalt cost Pioneer construction dated September 22nd, 2025 for information that council does hereby approve the invoice for Pioneer construction amount of $678,666.78 plus HST. Can I please have a mover?
I'll move.
Moved by Paul, seconded by
I'll second.
Kathy. All right, any discussion and questions? It's on the floor. Hearing none, all in favor? Carried. All right, none at tonight's meetings, 9 resolutions, none. Correspondence. You have the correspondence before you, A to E. Are there any items that council would like to extract for discussion? Hearing none. That the council of Chapleau receives correspondence from the September 26, 2025 council agenda, where is the following extracted for discussion, which is none. Can I get a mover? Moved by Kathy, seconded by Lisi. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried. All right, in camera, adjourn to in-camera session, Township of Chapleau. Move to an in-camera session Monday, September 22nd at 6:57 p.m. for the following matters. In-camera session meeting minutes for regular council meeting of September 8/2025, and personal matters about identifiable individual, including municipal and or local board employees pursuant to Ontario Municipal Act, section 239(2)B, and human resources. 3 items, and then there was
One legal.
and then 1 legal matter that was added at the beginning. All right. Okay, thank you very much. Thanks. All right, nice evening.
Thanks for watching. If you want to send us a story, you can send us an email to nocaudits@gmail.com. Don't forget to subscribe, and see you next time.